This is another episode of the B.A.M Media Sports Podcast, where we bring you guys some of the hottest takes, some of the realest insights, and authentic sports talk. I am your co-host, Brandon Lockhart. Now let me introduce to you guys my partner. He's a former 1D1 athlete. He's played his high school football at the High School of Opelika High School, and he's actually played his collegiate years at the University of South Alabama. He is the sports guru himself. His name is Mr. Malcolm Buggs.
Glad to be back, man. B.A.M Media. Glad to have supporters and followers. You all continue to support us, and we can continue to provide you all with this great, genuine sports field content.
Hey, we ain't gonna hold you guys up today. We're gonna get straight into it. So today's hot topics will be these some good ones here today, y'all.
I think it's gonna be a lot of passionate people about this topic right here. So go ahead, B.
And honestly, B, feel free to comment on this one right here when we drop this video here, because we're gonna actually need and want some of the insights from you guys when y'all watch this one.
Correct.
So first we're gonna get into the second transfer window being closed now. That was big. NCAA now has shut down the second transfer window, so there is no more transferring after the spring. The spring is over with.
Correct.
The last topic we're gonna talk about is, does this help stabilize rosters, or what else does it do? What do you think it might do? If it doesn't stabilize a roster, what can the benefit of having the second window being closed, what can it do for a team?
Well, one thing I want to expand on first is the transfer window being closed. All right, the second window. And for those that don't know, there was actually a period in time where football players could transfer on 3 different occasions, especially if your coach left. So you would have 3 different occasions if your coach was to leave and take another job, basically. Mm-hmm. But there's always been 1 or 2 windows for everyone involved in college football. I think this is good for the game.
Yeah.
Why? I'm a coach, all right? Do I have any aspirations to possibly be a college football coach one day? Maybe. I never know what God has planned for you. But the thing is, one thing that coaches love, as far as what draws coaches to certain places, stability. Stability and understanding that there is some type of continuity and camaraderie around the program that you're going to or coaching and working for and working in. With having 2 transfer windows, it's obvious that kids would go to a university in January, just get to a university in January, go through spring, go through winter workouts, and then possibly not get the spot that they want as far as starting, second man in rotation, and look to go elsewhere and further their career and dreams at another institution. And that does nothing for the coach that just recruited you and brought you in January.
Yeah.
They're expecting you to be a part of the team for that football season. And therefore that creates a sense of, I would say, an uneasy feeling for the coach, because now they don't have any type of fluent, stable roster. Yeah. A roster that they can depend on, a roster that they can actually say, all right, this is going to be my guy, and pour into their guys with knowledge, helping them from a on and off the field standpoint with growth and development. And it just creates a lot of chaos. Now, from the side of a player, there's been some guys, and you can look to basketball in this as well. There's been some guys that have transferred every year that they have played college ball. And that is not sustainable either. I've heard John Calipari talk about it with the basketball, from a basketball standpoint. When you transfer every year, are we ensuring that they're going to get the degree that they signed up for? Are they changing majors every time that they transfer? What is the sustainability for them to graduate on time if they transfer every year? Could I transfer every year and still leave college with no eligibility left and yet no degree? So these are the problems that you possibly could run into as a player if you do transfer every year. And it also just, to me, it just shows that the microwave society that we are living in. People always want something right now instead of actually waiting, grinding it out, instead of building, making a foundation and sticking to some sort of discipline routine in order to get what they want. And that could be pertaining to sports, that could be pertaining to business, and that can be pertaining to just overall your facet of life.
Yeah.
So I think the second portal window being removed is just something that's great overall for both sides. Even though some kids may feel like, nah, player empowerment.
Yeah.
And I think the transfer portal is player empowerment. I think NIL is player empowerment. Those are things that my age group or my generation didn't even get a chance to truly experience. Now, the transfer portal was something that was talked about while I was playing ball, but it was definitely not something that was as easy access as it is right now for these guys. So I'm for it, but definitely for these different rules and regulations that are going to be implemented now and later when it comes to the transfer portal and NIL in the state of college football.
I'll kind of piggyback on some of the stuff you just said then too.
Before you say it, college sports in general. Go ahead.
Got you. I remember before Nick Saban did retire, or after he retired, it might have been after he retired, he kind of was on either the Pat McAfee show or he was on some type of interview, and he was just talking about the state of the sport, the state of NIL, the state of the transfer portal. And the one thing he said that I technically don't think is kind of good for coaches, but maybe more now since the second window has closed, is coaches having to recruit their own rosters the full year.
Say it, man. Go ahead and say it.
So it's not just like, okay, I'm recruiting for one class and I'm just focused on that class, those particular players. I gotta retain the players that I already have from the previous year. So I think if you got somebody like Nick Saban mentioning that, a person who pretty much slept in the office, you know, when it comes to the season, being in season, postseason, preseason, off season, it didn't matter. He was a guy that he was putting in 12 to 14 hours a day coaching. And for him to come out and say that, man, I don't even want to, or I don't like to, the fact that I have to recruit my own roster all year round, in season. Like, you got to worry about guys that's having bad practices. If they have a bad practice and the guy jump them, hey, now this guy thinking about, hey, when the next portal window finna open, or who finna offer me the next NIL deal. You know what I'm saying? So I truly think that, yes, I think with the second window closing now, I do think it's like Bug said, I do think it is a benefit now for both coaches and for both players. But, you know, I still think with the transfer portal just being open still to this day, with NIL still being available, and I'm all for players, you know, getting paid. I'm all for players getting compensated for, you know, their hard work. I watched my brother do it for 4 or 5 years, so I know the work that is put in. I was actually an assistant or intern on the strength staff at the University of South Alabama when he was playing, actually. So I got a chance to see up front and up close what these guys actually go through. So I do feel like they do deserve to be compensated for the stuff that they do, because they are athletes. They are Division I athletes at that. Now, but you know, with the portal and NIL, you know, college is seeming more like it seems like it's gathering more to be a professional landscape, a semi-professional landscape. What you think about that?
I think with them trending in that direction, that's why rules and regulations are needed. If you are going to continuously, one, there is no cap. All right, that's the biggest thing that, and Nick that's probably one of the biggest things that he was talking about on the way out as well. Yeah. But there is no cap to how much a team can truly gather to spend on their roster. Yeah, you've heard numbers fluctuate, especially over the last 3 years. When you talk about how much this team spent on their roster to win, how much this team spent on their roster to win, that team, all that, right? That is some truth to it. There is some truth to it. But with NIL and the transfer portal existing and continuously evolving and contributing to the landscape of college football, you have to also come with rules and regulations that help secure I would say job security, first of all, for coaches. Job security. That helps with job security. You know why? Because now you give them the opportunity to build and sustain rosters. It also helps with just the actual day-to-day, so the routine efforts that go into being a part of a college sports team, whether you're talking football, basketball, track, it don't matter.
Anything.
Any sport, it contributes to the daily routine, the daily nuances that are around the program, the inner workings of a program. So I definitely think, yes, those rules and regulations are needed, because think about it. The NBA has a what? They have a players association. They have a collective bargaining agreement. The same thing with the NFL. They have a players association, have a collective bargaining agreement.
You got to. When you turn professional,
you have to.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's
so
true.
With the money that's being thrown around out here, being professional dollars, that is something that I think the NCAA is definitely trending towards.
For sure. I sent you a video the other day. It was about Steve Starkey. Did you watch it?
Yes.
You saw that clip?
I did.
So
I did see that clip. That clip definitely brought a lot of insight into not only what maybe we were already thinking, but it brings insight from a current college football coach at one of the most prestigious universities in the country, at Texas, and how he elaborated on the fixations of how they try to distribute that money that everyone, and he's at Texas. Everybody ain't got Texas money.
I'm telling
Let's
you.
go ahead and make that clear cut.
Facts.
Everybody does not have the Texas, budget when it comes to NIL, when it comes to sports resources, facilities,
anything,
program network, all that. Everybody doesn't have that, but for him to expand and expound on the same thought that SMU may have had, they have plenty of donors now. But
that's true.
I'm just saying, smaller schools, UTSA. I can go on, Mercer, South Alabama. I can go on and on. But the thing is, those are the thoughts that each coach is having around the nation when it comes to college football, because they know that in order for me to actually compete, I have to address this situation monetary wise, and it can be a tough thing to navigate, honestly.
And I can't technically, repeat everything he said verbatim, but pretty much ultimately what he summed it up to be was, would you rather spend money that you are getting from these universities, revenue, to go after a transfer guy who is already proven? Or would you rather spend that money on a high school 5-star athlete or 4-star athlete who's technically proven in the high school ranks, but not in the college ranks? So he kind of called it as dead money in a sense, because the guy that you're recruiting from high school, yes, he's promising. Yes, he has the very high potential, but are you gonna bet on that with this money that that these universities are supposedly giving to these teams to be able to go out and build their rosters? For me, man, I would still build through the old structured way, the Nick Saban way, because of we seen what it did.
Yeah,
we seen how it worked. Not only just at Bama, but at colleges like Florida State. You seen what heavy recruiting did for Jimbo. You see what heavy recruiting did for Jeremy Pruitt back when they had Jeremy Pruitt. All of these great schools who've had great coaches who've built these platforms were all pretty much generated from recruiting. Yeah, and it was recruiting high school athletes. Yep. It never had nothing to do with transfers. Yep. Transfers plug and play. They help where needed. But technically, you're not building a program off of a transfer portal guy. Correct. So going into these quick rapid fire questions, would you rather build your program through a high school athlete or high school recruiting, or would you rather choose the transfer portal? Honest opinion.
Honest opinion. I think there's still value in recruiting a high school athlete. I think there's still value in managing, maintaining, and continuously structuring your roster around recruiting high school athletes. I got quite a few insight on this type of thinking or this method of thinking from Kirby Smart at the University of Georgia, who, yes, he does hit the transfer portal. Yes, it's not like he's one of the guys that said, I'm not going to use the transfer portal. He's not one of those guys. But he does value high school recruiting more because of what? You can sustain a relationship with those guys that you bought in, and they're able to say that they have only been to one university.
Yeah.
That you can also maintain a roster, a cultured roster by retaining your guys that you recruited out of high school. And it kind of means, to me, it means more intrinsically to them.
Yeah.
Because they've never been anywhere else. This is the only way that they've ever known.
I agree.
And I think that in itself, it speaks volume to establishing true, genuine relationships on the recruiting trail, not only to get them there, but maintaining that relationship while you have them.
I agree, for sure.
So I definitely would say the high school way. And the reason I'm saying that is not only based on my own method of thinking, but still seeing the fact that Kirby Smart is still competitive every year with this mindset. Now, he ain't 22, 21 Kirby, because he coming out back-to-back natties, all that.
Yeah.
But I think that is a sustainable way because he is still competitive and he is still relevant when it comes to you having to play him this year and years to come.
Man, it's only one coach I know right now in the sport that technically recruits more from the transfer portal than he does from high school athletes. And it's only one that I know that's actually pretty successful every year. Lane Kiffin. That's the only one. Yeah. He done won 10 games every year.
And notice I said before he even dropped. Lane Kiffin. It's simple.
That's it. So the next one I got for you, would you have transfer schools back in your playing days if the transfer portal and NIL existed?
That's a tough question for me. Simply because I think one thing that's very, very evident when it comes to the transfer portal, you either have to have previous prior connections. So like you need to know a coach at another school that you built a relationship with, you're still in contact with. B, you have to be either a highly touted guy, so you were a 5 or a 4-star coming out of high school.
For sure.
Especially around my time, you had to be a highly touted guy to even think about transfer. Before this open transfer portal era, like you had to be a 4 or 5-star guy to even mumble to your coach that I want to leave.
I ain't even think about it.
For real, and still get some type of track that you can actually leave, and they would sign off on it. Because in that time, you had to have approval from your head coach. Be even talk or discuss possibly coming to another school. So those two things were big factors, especially during my time. Now, if they had the open portal when I played, who knows? All right, I'm a big guy on loyalty. I try to make sure that my guys that I coach understand the value of, being honest, being loyal to your loved ones, and also how that helps you from a character and morale standpoint and who you attract and who you actually deal with on a daily basis. So to answer your question, I probably wouldn't have because of the emotional attachment that I have to the university, because of how it helped shape me and mold me and make me a better man through all of the different trials and tribulations that I went through as a player at the University of South Alabama. So
I can respect that. And truly, me seeing you stand down 10 toes throughout all the adversity that you did.
Because I actually had a coaching change.
You had a couple.
I had a couple of different coaching changes as far as coordinators, my head coach, and it was.
Because you had 2 head coaches, right? You had Campbell, right?
2 head coaches. I had
Joey Jones.
I had 2 head coaches, 3 coordinators, 3 defensive coordinators, and 3 different position coaches.
Okay. So, with that said, do you think the NCAA should provide some type of roster cap to level the playing field?
I think so.
Because obviously, opinion here from a fan now. Opinion. These are opinions now.
Yeah. Fan coach.
Hey, remember that. Remember that. So with the Big Ten.
Look. Bias, non-biased. Bias, non-biased.
With the Big Ten, the past 3 years, this is a fan take here. With the Big Ten, the past 3 years, I truly only believe the reason the Big Ten has been winning championships is because a lot of the money is trickling up north. When you talk about Ohio State, hey, Ohio got plenty of money from what Ohio State numbers showing me. Indiana, what me and Bugs done learned this past year, Indiana got one of the wealthiest group of alumni that
in the country,
probably known to man.
And I just throw out one name, Mark Cuban.
That says enough in itself. Everybody know who Mark Cuban is, right? All right, so just going back, man, would that roster cap help the rest of college football kind of get to the Big Ten standard now? Or do you think that pretty much wouldn't do anything and that the Big Ten is just head over heels dominating the sport now?
All right, now, non-biased opinion right here. But if you look at the last 3 national champions, all right, they all have 2 things in common. All right, roster, majority older roster, like 5th and 6th year guys on their team, especially Indiana. They had a couple, 5-6 year guys on their team.
And let's not forget about Michigan in 24 either.
That's I'm going back the last 3 years. All right, so Indiana had a wealth of older guys on their football team. Same thing with Ohio State. They majority of their seniors to come back the year before when they won the national championship. Thanks. And then Michigan had a lot of 5th year guys and seniors come back that year that they won the national championship. So they all have a prevalently or relevantly older roster. All right. Last thing, they all spent a lot to secure that same roster that won them that national championship. Because it was numbers coming out after Ohio State won, or I ain't gonna say after, it was before. Yeah. That they spent $20 million on their roster.
And that's all said. Them and Texas both the same year.
Correct.
$20 million apiece.
And matter of fact, I think they played each other.
They did. And I think Ohio State won.
Yeah, both. Yeah. They had a back-to-back because they played each other last year too, then.
That's right. That's right.
So, like I was saying, like, spent a bit amount of money on their roster to make sure that they had the best opportunity to win. Correct. So I not just non-biased opinion, but the cap is something that will possibly, I would say, help even the playing field from an equal standpoint of how much each program, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, ACC, it will equal it out where they can spend their money, and I think it also will even it out to how they actually stack up when it comes to their recruiting numbers. So I definitely think the cap is something that they need to decide on. It's something that they need to come to an agreement with, and obviously that'll go through different methods, voting, a board committee through the NCAA. Yeah, and it's something that definitely I think will help make the sport greater.
And I'm gonna throw another biased opinion out there real quick before we go to the next segment. My last biased opinion for the day. NIL started last. Transfer portal came first. Remind me, was the transfer portal in 17 or 18 when it opened?
I wanna say 18. I want to say my last season playing, that's when
Who won the championship that year?
18. That's a long one.
Was it Bama or was it Clemson? Was Bama or Clemson? It was Bama, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nah.
It was one of them. So what I'm getting at is SEC dominated the sport from 2000 and Tebow 6, 7 up until 20. All right, all of these rules y'all are seeing come into place now or the past 5 to 6, 7 years have been, to me, my honest opinion, to transition the greatness and the winning of the SEC
and spread it out.
To make the sport, college football, overall better. That's my take. fans, y'all sit on that. Y'all sit on that. Y'all comment at the bottom of the video when it dropped, and I want to know y'all honest opinions to what I just said.
Right.
All right. So now we hit my favorite segment again.
I will say, he said 2006 to 2020. I will kind of throw in that Florida State won in 2013 and beat Auburn. All right, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going on that.
All right. So for the Bugs breakdown today, guys, we got, well, I'm going to let Bugs do it, but at the end of the day, we want to talk about the most underrated transfer nobody has heard about this spring. And we want to also kind of divvy on a little bit the future of NIL, the salary cap, and obviously revenue sharing and what that could do for the sport of college football. And Bugs, take it away.
I want to get your opinion, too, on that first one. I'm going to go ahead and start with the second one because I want to hear what you say before I say my underrated.
Gotcha.
But as far as the future of NIL, I do think I have a few ideas that could possibly help, I would say, increase NIL from a standpoint of it's still going to be beneficial for the players and it's still going to be beneficial for the programs. I think NIL is something with name, image, and likeness. All right. So with that being said, they're already going to have different groupings and collectives based on what university that they go to as far as how they're going to collect their money and get their money. I think that they can continue to outsource their different donors, sponsors, partners as far as how they get their money. Now, what I think is just mostly needed, like we just touched on early, is a salary cap.
Yeah.
Because these are, and well, most of the COVID children are out of there, so hopefully you won't see no more 6-year guys.
Hopefully.
Yeah, unless you got hurt twice and you got your red and your blue shirt.
Well, now we got guys fighting, going to court, getting judges approving them for an extra year.
You're right. And granted, and we was talking about Chambliss, his was actually verified, so I think he was warranted his extra year, and it was justifiable. But I think the salary cap is definitely something that needs to be discussed and negotiated on from a standpoint of how much each player can earn every year. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, these are still 17, 18, 19-year-old boys turning into men. 17 through 21 turning into men. And you want to make sure that you get them the best opportunity to manage what they have, but also give them something to look forward to. This is not the overall, it should not be the overall goal to make as much money as they can as a college athlete, especially when they have talent that could possibly platform them in the NFL or in another league, in another light. It's another avenue that they may take from their college degree. Yeah. All right.
Revenue sharing.
I think revenue sharing is something that benefits everyone, and this is why. Well, it won't benefit everyone. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. This is me making a biased opinion. All right, because I played at a mid-major. So revenue sharing is something that will definitely help the lower tier programs.
That's it.
All right. Yes, bigger programs like, for example, Auburn, Alabama, Florida State, Florida. Bigger programs will probably suffer a little bit from a budget standpoint when it comes to revenue sharing. All right. Here's why. When you think about each school in each state, if revenue sharing were to become, and this just would be statewide, if revenue sharing would to become a part of college football, not only would Alabama make what they made, all right, but they would have to share with their 3 closest neighbors, all right, something like that. Or Auburn, same thing. If we got 8 different, universities in the state of Alabama, Auburn will share with their 3 closest, Bama will share with their 3 closest, and now all of the universities are taken care of.
I like the sound of that.
And the reason I say that is because I think that the amount of money that is being made at those universities, yes, it's justifiable, it's theirs, correct.
Yeah, true.
But if a salary cap were to be implemented into college football to even a playing field for all of those Power 4 institutions, revenue sharing will be implemented in order to even the playing field for all of the mid-major Division 1 institutions.
It has to.
And when you think about it, I think you see this type of you would see this more in football than you do basketball, because this is why. If you go back and look at basketball, Dustin May just won the national championship for Michigan in basketball. A lot of people don't know he took FAU to the Final Four 2 years ago.
I was just about to say about 2 years ago.
So when you talk about, it being something that's more sustainable based on the sport, obviously, yes, football makes the most money, so that's what we're talking about. But I think this can also heighten the resources for those mid-major programs all across the board, not just in one sport.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, man, so for me, man, I would say, going to that first one that I kind of highlighted in your segment, the most underrated transfer nobody is talking about. For me, like we always been stating, this episode is, I'm a Bama guy. I'm a biased guy, so I'm gonna talk Bama. If y'all want to go anywhere else to hear about any other team, don't come here, cause I'm talking Bama. But we're gonna generally hit everybody else, but you're gonna hear Bama from B. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say, man, the most underrated guy that I don't think nobody talking about that went to Bama this year is I'm gonna go the running back. Number 17, man. Well, actually, he went in the transfer portal. He was a freshman, but I'm just gonna highlight just an underrated player. Period.
Okay.
Don't have to technically be a player that that transferred, or a player that technically got recruited out of high school. It can be either or. So for me, I'm gonna choose. I think his name is Trayshawn Brown, if I'm not mistaken. Trayshawn Brown, man, he balled out. He balled out this spring, man. You hear his name everywhere. You see his name everywhere. I want to say during the game, man, it was a segment. Like a lot of players nowadays are, on TikTok.
Yeah,
they on Instagram.
Correct.
And on YouTube, all this stuff wasn't heard about back in the day, especially when Saban played. Saban coach, when none of that going on.
Correct.
But see, now you got a chance to get a little deeper into the program and hear what some of these guys are saying.
Yes.
So they had a segment where they was asking all the guys. You probably had about 10 or 15 guys that came to the camera, and the reporter asked them, "Who is the unsung hero of the spring?" Mm-hmm. I mainly heard 3 names. Trayshawn Brown was one. Mm-hmm. Ryan Coleman Williams was another. Noah Rogers was a third. And he hurt. But I'm gonna go off with a freshman
guys too.
Because we got a freshman that's playing running back that's pretty much balled out and had a better spring than the rest of the running backs we got. And we got a stacked running back room. But for him to come in there and make the leeway that he made, the legway that he made this spring, he's bringing a lot of Josh Jacobs vibes to me. I'm catching a lot of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was a guy that never started at the University of Alabama, never started one game. But he got drafted in the first round. So how you get drafted in the first round and you ain't even start? So they seen something. These teams seen something in your potential. They seen what you brought.
Man. Work ethic,
and that's
how you approach the game, man. Your professionalism, all those different things stick out, and it shows. It shows not only in your play, but it shows in your mannerisms and how you go through each day approaching your work.
The kid just looked like it though, bro.
Yeah,
he the same size. He about 6, maybe 5'11", 210.
I agree. Freshman.
So be looking for him. 17, everybody. Be looking for 17 to break that roster this year.
They got another freshman too. He's hurt right now. Xavier Crowell. I've seen him play in high school.
Forgot about
him. I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see how that running back room shakes out, because they definitely got guys at the top. When you talk about D Hill, Kevin Riley, AK Deer, they have guys that's coming back. But like I said, those 2 freshmen definitely names to watch out for. All right, you asked me about the underrated transfer nobody's talking about. I'm always gonna use this platform to highlight guys that may have been overlooked. I'm gonna go with 2 guys, or I'll go with this. I'll say 2 guys. All right, one guy, Auburn fans may be familiar with him, J.C. Hart. He transferred to the University of Utah, and the reason I say underrated is because I feel like he's definitely a fit that could possibly have done well at Auburn. I also feel
why you think he left?
New regime. Some people leave because they have new head coaches. I think that's normally the reason. I don't remember what he actually. I think he left last year, honestly. But for me to see his growth, and see him as a player in high school.
Yeah.
I always thought he had some great qualities that a cornerback would, flourish in, as far as just depending on what system he goes to play in. So with him going to Utah, Big 12, different scenery, I think that's definitely an area that he would possibly do well in and thrive in. Long corner, great ball skills, very, very coachable. I look forward to him having a big season this year.
And for y'all don't know who J.C. Hart is, that's a kid that's from not technically Opelika or Auburn area, but he's from around the way. You could consider him as a Lee County kid if you must.
Yep.
Played at Lochapoka High School.
Yep. J.C. Hart. All right. Another guy I'm gonna highlight, and he's transferred twice now, but I think this kid right here is stellar. I think this kid is just a diamond in the rough. He just got to get in the right situation, and I think he's gonna have a great year or two. I think he has 2 years of eligibility left.
Yeah,
and I can see him going as far as he would allow himself to take it. And this is me challenging him nationally, because hopefully everybody in the world sees this.
I'm
right?
telling you.
Laquan Robinson. He transferred. He went to Auburn after he did his year or two in JUCO, and he transferred from Auburn to Kansas, and now he's at the University of Southern Miss. So Laquan Robinson, stellar athlete. I think he's one of those, I would say, transitional box guys.
You coached him, right?
Correct. I coached him 1 year at Greenville High School. When I tell you, stellar athlete, before he had to go junior college, highly touted athlete, highly profile, 4-star kid.
Yeah.
I think he's a transitional box guy, and I'm talking about guys that can play safety, have safety habits, but physicality fits the mold of a linebacker. He reminds me similar to guys that have made that move in the past. Brian Urlacher, Mark Barron.
Definitely.
I can see him being one of those type of guys. Cam Chancellor. I can see him making that transition, either or. But Laquan Robinson, I look forward to him having a great year in the Sun Belt Conference.
Hey, Laquan, you heard it. You heard it first. Man. We're gonna be looking for you. Any closing takeaways, man? You got, for this episode right here?
Man, honestly, man, I do hope that they just come with some type of organization and formation when it comes to a regulation of rules and guidelines for the NIL and the transfer portal in college football. Closing the second window is step one.
Yeah.
How else are you going to make this better for everyone involved? And then NIL the same way with the cap. Are you going to negotiate the cap with just the top institutions, with just being Power 5?
Yeah.
Or are you going to negotiate that from an overall standpoint to make sure that you ensure the inclusiveness for every collegiate program?
Gotcha. Hey, I'm gonna just second that right there, man. I pretty much looking for the same thing. Yeah. I want to see if y'all gonna keep adding stuff, to the sport, to change the sport. Just make it better. Yeah. Don't make the sport worse. Don't damage it. Just make it better. Like I said, I'm all for kids getting paid. It's name, image, and likeness for a reason.
Yes, sir.
So you guys do deserve to get compensated for all your hard work. And obviously, the transfer portal was created for you guys, so you guys can have some movement and flexibility. So I think everything truly is a benefit for the athlete. I think as an NCAA, as an organization body, I think they just have to find ways to provide stipulations, provide rules and guidelines around this platform.
Yes, sir.
So with that said, guys, that's a wrap, man, for episode 2 of season 2 of the B.A.M Media Sports Podcast, man. Thank you to all of our listeners and all of our viewers. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this episode today, please go like it. If you guys enjoyed the content that you got from me and my brother, please go to B.A.M Sports Media Podcast. It's a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel as well. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be back with another episode next week, guys.
And like we said earlier, if you have some type of rebuttal, please give us your feedback.
Please.
Love y'all, man. B.A.M gang.